What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Trippe. I am here in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Live podcast. We are REI Live. We interview the very best entrepreneurs and real estate investors in the entire country, and today is no different. A lot of times we talk about marketing. I love marketing. If you're a real estate investor, marketing is huge. If you're getting your own deals, you actually are a marketer. And so we are talking to an ace marketer today, Mr. Jacob Salem. How's it going, Jacob?
Man, it's going better than good, over the top. Glad to be here, and thank you for having me on.
So the company is Easy Metrics, and we definitely want to talk about that. But today, I just want to dive into marketing. Before we do, I'd love for you just kind of tell everybody who you are, what you do, and what you do as it pertains to marketing.
All right, well, absolutely. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in, and I'm glad to be here with you as well. I own a turnkey, full-blown, done-for-you digital marketing agency. I was one of the ones who started this thing soon enough to where it was able to really, really grow. Right now, we're in a wave in the world where everybody is a digital marketing guru, right? That's the goal. You have so many popping up. I'm actually super excited about changes that are happening right now in the digital marketing community, which are everything's getting more expensive, which I'm actually excited about that because some of the fake gurus will disappear. And so I built a turnkey, full-blown digital marketing agency that does anything from Facebook ads, YouTube ads, LinkedIn ads, to email copy, sales page build-outs copy, ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft certified. If it's digital, we know how to do it and implement it. And more importantly, I hire different experts that are way better at me at the doing in certain areas. Like we have two copywriting experts and a couple graphic design experts. And we have Facebook, we call it our ad buying team, where all they do is they run paid ads. So they became really, really good in certain areas of digital marketing. And I'm just blessed to have them on this team, and they make me look really, really good, but it's all them.
That's awesome. So I'm a big Gary Vaynerchuk fan. Most of the people who know me know that I follow Gary. And, you start talking about a digital marketing agency. He owns one of the, I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely the most famous.
I have on my whiteboard, actually. So I'm in what I call the bullpen where I'm at. This is where the team is normally all gathered in, and this is where they all grind. I have a private office next door, and that's where I literally have on my whiteboard written out kind of my vision board of what I'm trying to do. I think his agency has like 900 employees right now. Mm-hmm. And so like I literally have on there, VaynerMedia, right? That's kind of where we're going. A lot smaller than that. When I say lucky to be successful, we have a great team. We're amazing. I love it. But he's like, he's what I'm striving to build. I think his retainers start at $20,000 a month, whereas mine start at $3,500 a month. And so it's just, he's on a much larger scale. So I'm almost jealous of where he's at, but it gives me something to strive for.
Yeah, for sure. And so it's interesting because let's talk about Gary for a second. I think a lot of people try to emulate who Gary is as a person and his personal brand, but I haven't talked to a lot of people, and I'm sure they're out there. Obviously you're one of them. People that try to emulate what he's done from a business standpoint with his agency. Because I see Gary Vaynerchuk, maybe quote unquote posers, all the time, all over the place. So Just talk about that for a second. Talk about the kind of the origin of your digital agency. When did you start it? Why did you start it? Things like that.
So, we'll talk about the Gary side of things, and I want to actually throw another giant name out there. These are names, too, that we're throwing out that you either love them or you hate them, right? They fall on one side of the spectrum. I actually would attribute some of what I did to a course I bought from Tai Lopez, right?
Interesting.
I was one of the first people to buy into his program, his first main program, the 67 Steps. And one of his modules, he said something that just resonated with me so well. At the time, I was a pastor and full-time evangelist. All I did was travel and preach, and I still have an online ministry that has over 1 million followers.
Wow.
And I still do that. But I was basically broke. I was traveling and preaching, trying to get an honorarium, which is where they take up a love offering for you. They pass the plate, and you get to keep the money. That's how I was living. And I had already built and sold 2 companies, but blown all of that money or put it into college or whatever, had none of it left. And in the program, the 67 Steps, Tai Lopez said, don't do what you love and hope the money will follow. Do what you're good at, make a lot of money, and then go pay to do what you love. And that's exactly why I switched and built the digital marketing agency. I was like, you know what? I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at lead generation. I'm really good at building business and speaking that talk. I also love business. And I also love traveling and speaking, whether it's sales training, leadership training, motivational speaking, doesn't matter what it is. I enjoy it. And so that's why I went and built the digital marketing agency. I actually don't even think I knew the name Gary Vaynerchuk at that point. And so this was 5 years ago when that change started happening. I started building, was really relatively small, not succeeding. I invested $5,000 to go to one of Ziglar Corporation's trainings on speaker training and coaching. And there I met Tom Ziglar, and it was only a few months later, we were able to close an agreement where I was starting to take over their Facebook page, their Facebook ads, and then eventually we took over everything. But I started building my agency simply because I'm good at it and I wanted to make a lot of money. That's just the cold hard truth about it. And then, all right, so now let me talk more toward the Gary Vaynerchuk side of things. I take a different approach that he actually has, but he doesn't seem to ever talk about it, which is okay. Or if he does, I haven't seen it. And I do follow him pretty closely. He has a team of 900 people, right? Or whatever the number is right now. A lot of people. In order to accomplish that, not only does he have the hustle, the grind, what are you doing, in your hours where everybody's sleeping and all of that, but he's got systems and processes and training and different things that those teams are following that maybe he doesn't talk about a ton publicly. I mean, yes, he does hustle, he does grind, he does encourage that, and I love that. Those late night hours are really what get it. But what I like about his company that you don't even see in the public media is there's systems, there's strategies, there's things that are being implemented behind the scenes to make it go. And those are the things that I desperately needed to build what I had. Right, I needed to implement, hey, clients, you can only contact us between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. Central because that's when the team is available, right? Don't text me on Sunday. I'm not going to answer. Even though I'm typically working on Sunday, I'm building online courses for me or whatever I'm doing. There's systems and things that he has to have in his company in order for it to grow to the scale that it has. And those are the things that I try to emulate.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody that we interview, it seems like, talks about systems and processes. And even just very last week, we had a guy named Dan Schwartz on our show that gave us some very practical things to work on as far as systems and processes go to make your business run. And I listened to, I'm sure you know Cody Sperber. I listened to Cody Sperber talk about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And his big thing is automate everything. Yep. Automate every single thing that you can automate. You're sitting here talking about you've got 90 or so people working for you. Well, they're doing the nose to the grindstone type of work while you are building. You're working kind of on your business and on the business to keep growing it. They're doing the day-to-day in the business stuff. I think that's just really business 101. Talking about Michael Gerber, E-Myth type of stuff. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, and actually, two things. One, I just got a slight correction because I like being as truthful as I can. We have 12 people that are employed underneath me.
Oh, where did I get 90? I don't know.
I was like, that's a dream. That's
where
I'm
did
headed.
I don't know where I got that from. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a goal. Well, that's literally written on this whiteboard right here. So if that helps. But either way, so that's where we're striving to do. Gary Vaynerchuk has like 900, 10% of that would be 90. But either way, and then secondly, one of the philosophies I love whiteboards and I love notes and I love dream boards. Another thing I have written down is eliminate before you automate, automate before you delegate. And we try to follow that in our business as well.
Break that down. Talk about that.
Did I cut out a little bit there?
Just a little bit. And I apologize to you guys that you're listening. We're having some just kind of choppy internet issues. I think it's me, but we're getting 99% of what you're saying. But elaborate. We heard what you said. Elaborate on that real quick.
Yeah. So eliminate before you automate before you delegate. Most things, the average business owner, doesn't matter what field you're in, and this is probably from E-Myth or wherever I read it from, you're doing things that don't even need to be done, right? That you can literally just completely not do and your business will still grow or sustain. So eliminate as much as possible because we all only have 24 hours in a day. Then if it can't be eliminated, try to automate it. And that's where the Cody Sperber stuff comes in. Automate all of your emails, automate your text messages, automate your follow-up, automate everything that you could possibly automate. In today's world, I mean, even during this interview right now, I have a TV right here. I have an iPad here. I have a cell phone here, and I have a backup cell phone over there. Like there's so much technology around that you can automate so much stuff because there's stuff is so smart. And then if you can't automate it, if the API doesn't exist or the coding doesn't exist, that's when you start delegating to your team. And more importantly, hiring a team that's smarter than you and better than you. That was the best advice I ever got, was hiring people that are smarter than me in certain fields. That way we can deliver better results and I don't have to check their work. They should be checking my work. And so that's kind of a quick breakdown of just that philosophy.
Jacob, talk about, because I totally agree with you, but let's talk to that person who might be a little bit newer in their business, whatever their business is. It's probably real estate or they wouldn't be listening to the show. Talk to the person who's a little bit newer and you start talking about automation and delegation and they may not even be able to afford their first employee. And if you do an org chart, they're doing everything, right? So just talk to that person. How can they get out of doing the first or second or third task?
Okay, so my first suggestion is if they don't know about Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, they might. You might have already talked about this from other people. The cheapest place to get any outsourceable work, which is also a tax write-off, right? You can find people on there to do accounting. You can find people on there to do Infusionsoft. You can find people on there to do graphic design.
Totally.
You can find people on there to do the things very, very in a very cost-effective way that will help you. My personal recommendation, so Easy Metrics is my third successful company. And one of the things that I learned in my own practice is to get rid of the things that I hate. And so if you are on a budget and maybe you can only bring someone on at $8.25 an hour or $9 an hour, or maybe even not even that. Maybe you need independent contractors. Think about the number one task that you do that you absolutely can't stand, that when you wake up in the morning, you put it to the bottom of the list, like I'm going to put this thing off until never, just never get to it, and start delegating or automating or eliminating the things that just you hate. Because then if you can find one person to do it, even if they only work for you 5 hours a week and you can budget that, or 5 hours a month, but it's getting a task done that needs to be done that you despise, you will then find that you get more energy, you're more enthused, you're happier to go do the other things, and you'll be a lot more successful, profitable, whatever, by doing the things that you're good at and the things you enjoy, and then still everything's getting done.
Love it. No, I love it. We talk about that all the time. That's great. Find the thing that you hate to do in your business and outsource it. And I think the mistake a lot of people make, or the misconception, is that they have to bring on a full-time employee. Yeah. You don't have to do that. There are things out there like a Fiverr. There are things out there like just take me personally. Like I'll just, my wife is actually in the other room just doing a little bit of bookkeeping. She'll work like 3 or 4 hours a week. Like no big deal. We've got someone else that's attached to our infrastructure that'll do some just basic admin stuff for me 5 hours a month. 5 hours a month. And I pay her like $15 an hour, but that's $5 hours a month. Because that's all I need. And so I don't need to go hire someone full-time. And I think the mistake people make is they'll make that full-time hire, and they don't even know what to give them to do. Or they'll go and get a VA, and they can't even give the VA a lot of work, enough work to do.
Yeah. And actually one thing there, one of our current clients that I love, his name is Damon. He has his strategy for any business owner, doesn't matter the industry, is outsource everything. Now, I don't completely agree with that, me personally, but his goal for business owners is to convince them to outsource everything because then it's a tax write-off and you're hiring people that are experts in their space. So you don't have to teach them. And more importantly, you don't have to tell them what to do.
Totally. I want to go back to something, Jacob, that you said earlier in the intro. You said something really interesting that caught my attention. I wrote it down. I want you to expand on this. You said that everyone today, it's almost like everyone is a real estate investor today. Everyone is a wholesaler. You said everyone is a digital marketing guru. And prices are going up, and it is going to start to weed out, just like real estate. As soon as you start to see a correction, it's going to start to weed out all the fake entrepreneurs, all the fake wholesalers. Just talk about that for a second. Everyone feels like they're a digital marketing guru today.
Yeah. So, and I use that a little loosely. I should have been more there are a lot of people diving into this space and starting their career using the word expert. And I believe everything in the world can be taught and learned. And someone who is just starting out can become an expert relatively quickly, whether you want to follow the principle of, hey, they need to put it in 10,000 hours, or hey, they need to learn from someone who has put in their hours. I believe they can. But right now, the space is so saturated with other people saying, yes, I'm an expert. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I'll get you results. And then they don't get the results. And then when they don't get the results, it makes people like me look bad, or it makes our job harder. Because people come over to us and like, oh, I ran Facebook ads. You know, the leads were bad. The leads didn't answer the phone call. The leads didn't do anything, or I didn't make money on it. I lost money. And because they were working with someone that wasn't qualified and didn't know how to get the results that are promised, it put a salty taste in somebody else's mouth and makes everything harder. And I think in your space, it's probably the same, whereas you have a lot of people try to dabble into the fix and flip, right? Oh, we can do it. I just got to find a house that's wore down. Then I go in and fix it, and then I try to sell it. And a lot of people try that. They fail. Then it puts a salty taste. And now, you know, kind of in the economy around the rumors that go around are, hey, you know, it's only for the 1%. It's only for a few. It's not for everybody. When the reality is what we said in the beginning, when we said a statement similar to this, but I think we both would agree it's true. When you know the systems and processes for success, anything is possible. And you just have to have those systems and processes.
I love that. I love that. I read that on your website before we got going. I love that statement. You also said something earlier that I thought was really interesting. You said that even like it's even bigger today than ever, that perception is reality. So much so, and I'm going to call you out a little bit, so much so that you came on the podcast in the beginning in a t-shirt and you're like, oh, it's a video. I want to go put something on that's, and I'm not saying that to, you know, I'm not saying that to put you down in any way. I just want you to talk to that point that perception is reality.
100%. Sure. Like I don't even mind saying it at all. I don't mind acknowledging it. I was here. I haven't shaved. I'm actually glad you brought it up because I can explain myself.
I don't want you to explain yourself.
I knew I was doing a podcast. I'm like, oh, I got the Yeti mic. I got everything I need. And I'm just chilling in my office in my t-shirt. The team's not in today. So I'm just hanging out. And then he's like, oh, no, your camera's on. I'm like, one sec, let me get the suit, right? Because everywhere I go, whether I'm speaking, training, whatever it is, I like that professional aspect. Easy Metrics, we have a brand, an image to uphold that we're in suits, right? And so perception is reality. It's the fake it till you make it. And let me put this into real perspective for business, for my business and for every business out there. If I show up to a podcast, or if I show up to an event, or if I show up to an event, or I show up anywhere, in a t-shirt, it puts a value on me. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk has surpassed this idea of suits because he's done it for his own brand and image. He's in the t-shirt. He's that casual guy. When I show up in a suit, I used to have a baby face. I don't anymore, but I used to have a baby face. And if I showed up in a suit, people respected me more. They put me up here. They said, okay, this guy's going to charge me $3,000 per month and not $500 per month. And it was putting a business perception on it. And the reality is too, let's talk about perception as reality. I have 1 million followers on Facebook, right? It's all perception, right? I mean, I'm glad I do. I'm glad we reach those people, but everybody wants to be Facebook famous these days because they think it will change their bank account. So let me just kind of stifle that real quick. I don't make any more money because I have 1 million followers. My funnel is still the same. My ads are still the same. I still have to invest to get the right people on my webinars and any of my trainings or giveaways. But we live in a fake it till you make it world. And so when you're posting on social media, which is I built a digital marketing company, nice little sign behind me, everything you put out there represents you. And someone may watch this podcast 5 years from now. And I want to make sure that I represented myself in the best format, regardless of whatever I was doing 5 minutes before the podcast. Yeah. So everything that gets published should be your best, or at least you should be proud of it.
I agree with that. I think, I wrote a book. It's called How to Become the Authority. It's called Nothing's for Sale, How to Become the Local Authority when it comes to your local real estate market. But it talks a lot about that. Just the fact that I have a book and I can say I have anybody can go and self-publish a book. Anybody. Yeah. The barrier of entry is super low to do that. But the fact that I can say I wrote a book, it's like instant credibility.
Yes, sir.
Instant perception, instant, wow, Brian has a book, really? The fact that I have coaching students, the fact that
Yeah,
I'm in
absolutely.
the front of a room as the speaker gives you instant credibility no matter what. No matter what. And again, you think that's your opinion, is that you think you want to dress a certain way because your client, the client that you're looking for, is probably looking for that professional attire.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You have to understand, you have to do a self audit. You have to understand who you are and who your client is, in order to, make the most money, right?
I love what you said about the client thing, because I'm actually flying out tomorrow to one of our clients who's been a client with us for a long time now. We don't actually reach out to this industry because it's rare, but they sell horse trailers, Triple M trailers in Texas. They sell horse trailers. And so they're doing a giant big event in Expo. Now, even though I brand myself as this guy with suits, and I really love suits, by the way, I just personally like them. I'm still going to show up to their event in a polo and jeans, because that's what their event is and that's who they are. And so I'm showing up to relate to them. And I think that's still perception is reality. You want to be able to relate with everybody you're around, and you just put some thought into it ahead of time.
I agree. And you said something when we were offline, and I can't even remember what it was. I hope you can remember. You were talking about the real estate client, or the real estate. There's something like your client is going to be different than someone who I may be talking to as a real estate. What were you talking about specifically? Do you remember that?
Yeah, and I may be wrong in this statement, so please feel free to correct me.
I think you are going to be wrong, but I want to talk about this. You may not be. You may not be. But I definitely want to talk about it.
So, I love the idea of perception is reality, right? Because right now, the average business owner out there, not real estate investor, but the average business owner, the only way for them to actually make money is human-to-human contact, meaning I have to create a product or service. I have to present it to the right amount of people and get them to invest in it, right? And buy this from me. So it's human to human, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in automated emails. And what I said was, so for me, the perception is I need to be in the suit. I need to have my social media following great. I need to be there. Whereas my perception, which could be wrong, for the average real estate investor can do a lot of it without that human-to-human contact. They can find the deals. They can find the properties. They can do that. They can get the fix and flip, or they can buy into the multifamily without coming into contact with hundreds of people. That you can do it on a really small scale. You only need to interact with just a few.
Interesting.
Is that true, wrong?
No, well, there's going to be, I don't think you can make a blanket statement about anything. I think there's always going to be some truths and some untruths about anything. But why, take that to another level. I want you to take that to the next level. Keep expanding on that. Am I kind of putting you on the spot here?
Yeah, I'll do it, but only because I think we're just making a point. Like if I go one far way to the edge and say, listen, you can literally make money while you sleep in real estate investing without talking to anybody. There are guys that I think are out there teaching it. I don't know how to do that, but I've actually heard guys, whether it be on a Facebook ad or at events, that literally say, look, guys, you can use this app on your phone. You can go ahead and find a property, buy a property, sell a property without ever leaving your home.
Right. There are people that say they do that. Yeah.
And so I don't know whether that's possible. I haven't seen it. If it is possible, I want to learn it. But I just think that from what I do know to be true about real estate investing, and even if all we talked about was the mindset of buy and hold, buy and rent, or fix and flip, you can do that by only knowing a few limited amount of people. I mean, you just need to know a few key people, key players.
I agree.
So it doesn't matter if you have 1 million followers on Facebook or if you're the Instagram guru. You just need to be really, really good at what you do, know a few key people, buy the right properties, and accomplish your goal. Whereas the average business owner today, and so I'm expanding a little bit, the average business owner today needs to be Facebook famous. Like even if you're a boutique shop down the street, you need everybody within a 10-mile radius better know who you are, because you need them to know who your business is so they can walk in and buy from you. Yeah. Does that help?
Yes. Why is that important? This principle that you're talking about, why is this important?
From a marketing standpoint, in today's world, there's so much competition out there. You just want to be known. I mean, that's the same thing years ago. Years ago, you just didn't have Facebook. Years ago, you didn't have these things. Now you have a median where everybody's addicted to their phone.
Totally.
And so most people are just sitting there scrolling aimlessly, and you can be getting your message out there
totally
for a lot cheaper way or free than you ever could before.
Yeah. This is why I disagree with you, though.
Go ahead.
Yes, totally. You're totally right that if I want to only invest my dollar in a piece of real estate and that's the end of the transaction, then I agree with what you're saying. But here's the thing, especially if you're a wholesaler, or if you're a property finder, you're a marketer. Any marketer is going to have to get their message out there. Any marketer is going to have, if they don't have a good looking face, I'm not really pointing at myself, but if they don't have a good looking face or present themselves professionally, if they're not doing these things, then their message has to be professional. Something about them has to be professional so they can get the eye of their client or their customer. And their customer is the person who owns this rundown house that they're trying to get for pennies on the dollar, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you're in the marketing business, period, which real estate investing is 90% marketing because you have to get the great deal. That's the hardest part about real estate investing. You make all your money when you buy. You make your money when you buy. And the only way you can buy a great deal is either you have to have a great relationship. You're networking like crazy. You have great relationships with realtors, with brokers, with other people, with wholesalers you have to be able to present yourself in such a way so you're marketing yourself. So that's why I kind of, yes, if for the buy and hold guy that's only going to buy and that's it and he's done, he's going to buy it from someone else. If it's a deal, it's a deal. And if it's a marginal deal, it's fine. He's going to buy it for long term anyway. It probably doesn't matter. But for the guy like me that's trying to grow my real estate business by doing all this other stuff that you see I'm doing, why am I doing a podcast? Why would I do a podcast? It doesn't make any sense. If I want to buy more houses, why would I start a podcast?
Yeah.
It's to build my personal brand, to get me recognizable. So people want to do business with me. So they bring me their good deals. And it happens. They want to lend me money so I can go out and buy more property. They just want to do business with me because I'm the guy at the front of the room. I'm the guy that hosts a podcast. I'm the guy that wrote a book. That's it.
Yeah, makes total sense.
It's all perception.
Yeah, I absolutely agree that, and I live it. Perception is reality right now. And it's heartbreaking too, because in the social media world, it's everybody's highlight reel, right? Especially on mine. And I'll be really transparent. I only post stuff that I thought about 2 weeks in advance that I know is going to help position me as a good husband or a good father or a great business owner, or a digital marketing guru, or a speaking expert, or all my wins, right? And most of them I plan so far out in advance that there's no on the whim post, because if you're good at building your business, your brand, your perception, you're going to think things in advance, right?
I agree.
I love my wife to – nope, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say I love my wife to death. I think she's perfect. But I'm not one of those guys that when we have a disagreement and we have them, I don't go post about it. Right? I'm not going to go air out my laundry on social media because I understand that in the long haul, all that's going to do is hurt everything. Right? So social media, you should be using it, whether you're a real estate investor, whether you're a business owner, or whether you're just a decent human being that loves working at the job you work at. You should only be using it for your wins, because everybody, just like you kind of said, I think everybody's in marketing. I love what Mr. Zig Ziglar said, and basically every speech he has ever given is everybody's in sales. Right? I don't care if you're the janitor of your corporation. I've been the janitor. And I even have a work order that's going to go into my book that says, like, basically when Jacob gets done cleaning the toilets, have him go clean the air conditioner. But like, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're in sales for that company, and you should always be positioning yourself online to represent that business to the highest level possible. You are in the business of self-promotion. Always. We all are. And some people say, oh, I don't like Facebook because it's the highlight reel of your life. Well, if you do like what you just said, it's all intentional. Everything I lay out is not that intentional, but it's pretty intentional, and it's for a reason. How can I get the most eyeballs? How can I get the most views, the most likes, the most comments, the most engagement? How can I do that to further position myself, further cement myself as the leading authority, not only now in my area? I've kind of already done that. Now, hopefully nationwide. And that's the next step. How do we do that? So there are a lot of different things that you can do. And what does this have to do with real estate investing? It has everything to do with marketing. The more you can build yourself up and self-promote yourself, the more people want to do business with you.
period.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody looks everybody up too, right? And so even in our company, when someone comes in for an interview, I go creep all their social media profiles, maybe more so because I own a digital marketing agency. But like when you're looking to do a deal with somebody, you're building your relationships, those key relationships. If you go shake someone's hand and you're trying to work a deal with them, and they go ahead and they do the whole, I'm going to talk to whoever I need to talk to, they're going to go look you up and they're going to be asking about you too. And so everything you put out there needs to look good. I had a current client actually ask me, hey, when did you get over your skater boy phase? I was like, when I was 12, like literally. And they had looked back so far that they still looked at me as like I actually was a sponsored skateboarder at one time, but like I don't anymore, but that puts you in a category, right? So even things that you don't, maybe on MySpace, right? MySpace is so far gone. That had to be where that came from. And it's like, no matter what you put out there, it will come back to hurt you or help you so it's just being intentional about your positioning because somebody's going to go look you up.
Yep. I agree. It's funny you mentioned MySpace because my MySpace music page is still up.
There you go.
From like 2001, 2 and 3, when I put out, I have 2 CDs that I put out and I'm a terrible musician, but you can go to myspace.com/Brian Trippe Music. It's still there.
I'm looking it up. Today.
Oh, good stuff, man. Hey, before we go though, Jacob, I want you to talk about Easy Metrics because I know you mentioned earlier that you've built 3 successful companies.
Yeah.
And that's very impressive, obviously, to build one. Yeah. And your the newest thing you have out now is Easy Metrics. I was checking it out. Really cool. And that's obviously what you've been talking about. What is it that you guys specifically do? You mentioned Zig Ziglar, some companies that you represent, what you do for them.
Yeah, so we are a social media marketing agency. At the end of the day, to summarize that as easy as possible, is I am a lead generation company, right? And so we measure our success in I guess increments of did we deliver quality leads to our clients that would be there for sales, right? That's how we started. We also build out full websites, full email marketing campaigns, every social platform. We've helped grow over 7 platforms to over 1 million followers. So we obviously run, as you mentioned, everything for Ziglar Inc. Tom Ziglar gives us a ton of credibility in regard to letting us work alongside him. We've had a privilege doing that. It's our privilege to be able to do that. We've worked alongside Les Brown, hosted a lot of events with him. We serve dentists, chiropractors, realtors, normal realtors, for real estate investors currently. Any service-based business that needs to generate leads, our company can do that for you. It's a full-on, we just do it all. All you kind of do is kind of hand us the keys, we drive. And we just get it done.
And if somebody wants to get a hold of you or ask you maybe a couple more questions, what's the best way for people to learn more about you?
Yep. So obviously, easymetrics.com. So letter E, letter Z, metrics.com to see. We update that regularly with different funnels and offers. And then, of course, if they want to email me directly, it's Jacob, JACOB, at easymetrics, METRICS.com.
Awesome, man. I really do appreciate the content, the value you provide to our audience. It's always cool to talk about marketing with someone who's in it and someone who's doing it. I feel like I'm a student of marketing. I love it. We're in the marketing business. We're in the branding business. Yeah. So it's really cool to speak with you for a few minutes and get your perspective. I really do appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Awesome. Guys, hit that subscribe button. We love you so much. Rate us, review us. We'll see you next time.